well, they call them public facing venues like shopping centers, coffee shops, things like that. And I'm guessing meaning that they literally, like on a campus or whatever, they're literally facing out to the university itself versus outside of it. Um, but you mentioned about, and it made me, this is all coming through as we're doing this because we didn't study on this as much as we
Anyways,
probably
just
could have,
share.
but thinking about, I remember when my grandma moved in with us,
Hmm.
and it was myself. I don't think Vernon was living at home at the time. I'm trying to remember, and myself, and then my mom and her. And she wasn't a big talker, but when I did get a chance to ask her questions, I was able, she came up with some wisdom, and I learned about her that I didn't learn about. You know, I found out that my grandmother, who at the time was 83 or something like that, that she loved guns, that she loved riding horses, you know, and I never thought about it. We tend, and I think that's one sad part about this. We don't tend to learn about the past life of our relatives and what's going on, what they were like. It would be nice to understand that, you know, I often think about my dad, and am I on the same path as he is? Did he do some of the stuff I did? We unfortunately lost him kind of early. I didn't get to find that out, but learning these things can be beneficial, can help you in your own life and feeling like you're going in the right direction or whatever it is. But I always wonder if he thinks the same way I did, if he did a lot of the things I did, or what his life was like. But anyway, so by learning these different intergenerational with great grandfathers, grandfathers, whatever, what we learn about them, and I think it's a learning experience for all of us to get that.
It gives perspective too. You talk to people, my grandparents' generation, that survived the Depression and their way of saving things, whether it was your grandmother who didn't she save the tops of tissue
Oh,
boxes or
she saved a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was a whole
and
drawer full of these.
and we look at that and go, oh, they're crazy, but it's like when you understand the life and how they grew up to understand the difference in their life. We had my mom over recently for her birthday dinner, and it's our kids and our son's girlfriend. So it's the six of us and my mom. And I know she comes and joins. She loves the games that we play. We've taught her some new games, and because she lives in an independent living community now. And I remember, I stopped and I said, Mom, what were birthdays like when you were a kid? I don't know that I'd ever asked her that before. And she had to stop and think about it. And all she could remember was she had a big sweet 16 party that her mom did a lot of cooking. They invited all the family over. There was a whole bunch of people there. But it's like I'd never thought to ask my mom that. I can't remember if she ever shared anything, because I know how birthdays were when I was a kid. And, we know, how we experience it with as we've raised our kids with birthdays. And so, yeah, just asking those different questions. I mean, my mom has lived up near us. We've spent a lot of time with her with caring for my dad. And it's fun to engage in these kind of conversations. It kind of stepping outside. Um, I don't know what the word is, but because I know you talked about Don when birthdays when you were a kid that they only you only